Has 2 points up in the Shackle shot already, and is just throwing shackles at the Shadow Fiend here. Whoa. He's gonna end up latching. He walks away a little bit further. Dogfight's coming in, taking up the tower. LPC looking for a nightmare, but will immediately get hexed up. But that's gonna be the end of this gank over on the mid lane. Dust actually getting popped off, and Melody Lovers is in the neighborhood. Has the range of Light Strike Ray. Oh, the Nightmare dodges it. I think they've still got the damage for it though.
Juking from Yang, using the creeps to his advantage.
Ring around the Rosie, 2-man Earth Spike here on mid-raise, coming out looking for James, but he's still up on high ground. It's that 4-minute haste turn, causing problems. Dogfight's now in some trouble as well. Dust is going to get popped off, and he is going to be finished off by the Shadow.
You're still level 5, and speaking of Bristleback, getting ganked out there in a chain on through. Not enough damage right off the bat. They're going to TP in the line as well. Look to turn this one around. XL looking for some cool sprays, misses the chain on through, and then he gets shackled. There's Lin getting involved with the DD rune. TP is top. Actual detection is not there.
And this goes out, Shackle on the back lines, attempted Clockwork right in the middle of this. He didn't even hook in. He just walked up there.
Gets denied.
Oh my god, gets denied by the Bane. Nicely played by LPC. 1-for-1 thus far. They've actually managed to bring down the Bristle. Kabu still plenty of mana. Yang comes charging in. Doesn't get hit by the Light Strike Array. James gonna lob another Earth Spike as the Shackle comes out and does catch on too. Can they get anything done here? Another strike's already been used. Nightmare comes out. Kabu gonna line up with all of his spells. Race is coming in as well, but they don't wait for the LSA. Windranger able to dodge a little bit further away, but Yang finds himself pretty far away from the tower.
With line level 6, your best bet is throwing everything on one hero like the Shadow Fiend, killing him off, but then you have no chance of winning any subsequent fights. Grip on the bottom lane, they go in on Bristleback, but he gets cancelled by a Shackle, doesn't matter. As the Laguna Blade brings him down, Shadow Fiend gets the first kill this fight. Nice hook shot, Cogs comes out from red, they're all trapped in the Cogs. Nether Strike to escape from the Spirit Breaker, but the mech keeping most of TongFu alive outside of the Timbersaw, who finally
prevent TongFu from leaving.
TongFu going to look to run. Yang has a charge coming up. They've got vision now as well. Dogfight's running in forward. They're going into Melody Lovers. Can he turn and stun? Doesn't get the stun off. Nice Cogs coming in. The Shackle not going to land as well. Now the stun actually misses as XLL on that Bristle gets Nightmare up. Requiem hits and does a decent amount of damage to 3 heroes, but doesn't finish any off. Dogfight trying to hide in the trees, gets hit by the LSA. The follow-up damage will come, or will it? No, it won't. He's still alive off to the side, and a great multiple hero stun from James. He stuns up 3, they're inside the Cogs. TongFu holding their own for now, and Kabu's showing up with his second wind here. Trying to find dogfights in the trees, won't do so, and meanwhile the rest of his team outside the Shadow Fiend have been brought down. U9 battling it out with Lin, and that's a fight which it looks like U9 is going to win with 15-1 charges. He runs in the Bounty Hunter, pops a one more raid's going to miss as in comes the melee range Bounty Hunter, but doesn't get
this one away, and they're going to look for kills instead. Now what can they end up finding? Smoke's going to be revealed, charge coming in. Red in some trouble, going to get bursted, Finger of Death being used, but Yang finds himself in the middle of everyone, focusing on Melody Lovers, but the mech is going to keep him alive a little bit longer, and Yang will fall. There is a buyback from your Clockwork as U9 channels up the Requiem, does basically no damage.
They want to catch someone though. Red's got a hookshot available.
With that vision just yet. There's no blink daggers up, there's no one to really take advantage of the initiation, but speaking of initiation, Lin's going to get hooked up, that 4-step is going to get him a little bit further away. TP coming in, but the Shackle lands on 2, Red and U9 both in some trouble, but the Grip is going to hold the Pistol back in place, stuck inside of the Chalk Room, and he'll be brought down. The Laguna Blade coming in as well, Yang trying to focus on Melody Lovers, but once again, it's big U9 keeping his team safe. Kabu wants a little bit more, finds the Spirit Breaker over in the trees, but he will be able to
continuously in. Put the detection to deal with this. It looks like Kabu going to be the one getting charged up. Dogfight goes in, gets the track, hookshot the counter initiate with the Cogs follow-up, and Yang trapped inside the Cogs. He's going to be the casualty of War's Finger does not kill off Kabu. The last right click from James will do so as James pays for it with his life. And just probably, mid lane, they're going to catch out XLL on the Bristleback, and he is not going to good escape. He's got Bounty Hunter nearby, he's going to give some track movement speed, but doesn't look like giving up. Bristleback gets down about 100 HP. Here comes Yang looking for that Nether Strike. The battery's not causing him problems. Finally brings down Lina. Now he's on the right. Hookshot from Red will catch out 2 as Lin barely scurries to the high ground here. Nice. Shackle will catch out Red as well as U9 on Shadow Fiend, but there's not much fight left in this VG game potential squad at this point, as Bounty Hunter still on the sides, camps back in from behind, catches out the Clockwork, and will finish off 1 kill as he gets dusted up, but no catch. Oh, okay, there's catch. Fiend script from downtown, and Dogfight's caught out. 1 raise 2.
For the VG.P here. If they had a blink on the line, I would be 100% on board with this, but yeah, U9 trying to make his way up onto the high ground. Exact same story, another Shackle, another Focus Fire.
Another charge to heal him up.
Oh, there's going to be a come in from Red, catches out onto 2, Light Strike here, follows things up as well. Onto the Blade Mail, killing off the Lina in the midst of all of that. XLL still on the run. One less auto attack from the Shadow Fiend is not going to be enough. Triggers that last Quill Spray, and he's actually going to end up going down.
Previously, they're going in on him with a charge, and Shadow Fiend needs to be careful. He has got a BKB, but won't be able to get it off. The Nether Strike to follow. Lines there with a Hex as well as an Impale. Wants to bring down U9, but the defensive Nightmare helps him out. Does not BKB. Now he gets Hex fingered. Fiend's Grip onto the line, and SF, BKB, Requiem. Could do a lot of damage. He winds up. Bristleback runs in with a BKB, tries to fight. U9 gets low, and he's just going to man up on the Bristleback. Great full stuff will keep him alive. Kited to the safety, but no, the Shuriken, not enough damage. Now the Nasal Goo coming in from XLL. He's in hot pursuit, and U9 is just going to try turn and fight, accepts defeat, and almost actually gets a kill on his way out with that. As the fight continues at mid lane, dogfights, earn damage, Rocket Flare gets him low, and with the Gem of True Sight, they are able to see him and bring
charge just yet. Kabu's all the way over by top lane as well. So the 4-on-4 to begin with, it splits up pretty badly. Red goes looking in forward, focusing on the Lin for the moment. Also ends up tanking through a couple of spells, Finger of Death being used. U9 picks up the bounty on his way over to try and deal with this Bristleback Nightmare, keeping Melody Lovers alive for a little bit longer. Now XLL trapped in the river. Nice force step away, going to help keep him safe. It looks like Dogfights might be in some trouble. Yang comes down with the Blade Mail active. Kabu, this is not the best spot for him to be fighting, but still finding decent angles for the Timber Chain. Yang going to be charging away as this 3-man squad from VG.P continues to find some pickoffs.
And getting track gold as well on top of this. Kabu now going to chase with the buyback from Bounty Hunter, though. I feel like Tong
towards top lane, and U9 ready and wait to finish off this tier 3. There is a glyph available.
The career respawning means Spirit Breaker's BKB has now arrived. Nice shackle on U9. Yeah, he's got an Aegis, but this could look to force that out as you do a lot of damage on the front lanes. In comes Yang, but the 4-star pushes them back. Clockwork, counter initiation, hook shot into Cogs, but Lin will get out with the 4-star, and in goes XLL. Fiend's Grip gets cancelled, and now U9 is BKB about to wear off. He's tracked up as well. That's going to be the end of the Aegis, and VG Gaming potential are going to repel TongFu. They may even look to chase off of this.
Yeah, BKB already used. You're not going to get stunned up as right as he arrives, but a really nice Nightmare keeping him alive for the time being. XLL trapped in the cogs once again, but Lin stands his ground, right-clicking away with the Focus Fire. James hiding back behind the tower. LPC getting hit by the Shuriken, bouncing through. Looks like they will end up losing dogfights, but he's gotten the majority of the tracks down, and VG.P looking for more blood. XLL very low, but as Kabu, and he's running for it. Kabu?
Maybe you just want to go for the Lina here, the easier kill. Kabu's tanky, and I don't know if Yang can get this one on his own. Yeah, let's say quickly changes track and
bash. Kabu gets bashed.
Easy.
TP's on cooldown. He's getting pincered right now. Actually, this could be the end of it. The Blade Bell's doing good damage. Kabu's just going to try and get the kill. And spamming out chakrams. Blink Dagger and Ags both do alleviate that a little bit as we have him jumped here on the middle lane. Jack comes down, LPC finds himself inside of the trees. Light Strike Array actually catching out of 2. Force Staff gets Kabu a little bit further out as Yang is going to be the target of the grip. Red pops down the cogs, splitting up this fight a little bit, but LPC was found out in the trees. It looks like Red going to be going down as well. This is not the fight for TongFu. Melody Lover sent skyward, and as he gets dropped down
everywhere, everybody getting tracked up, and Kabu going to get chased down as well. It looks like they've got another charge in a couple of seconds.
Up in front of the high ground, gets the Yule's Hop, will be able to follow it with potentially a Hex or an Earth Spike. There is a BKB from U9. He's going to try and fight this one out, but Lin's there with the Focus Fire.
They're going Kabu here. They're going to try and trap the bouncing Shuriken on through. The shackle lands to a tree by the base, and that's the end of Kabu.
Might be alright. LPC lost his gem earlier. He just forced to drop in a sentry here, just catching him on the very edge. They will invest the grip, but Bristleback's going to be very happy with that. Comes running into the fight, and the shackle catches on 2. Once again, followed up with the Earth Spike. That's 2 down. Red trying to open up space with the cogs, but he's also going to fall. And U9 arrives a little bit late. It's just him and Kabu fighting it out. XLL somehow down on the low ground, just being right-clicked right now. U9 finally finding some space to work with, but Yang right on top of him. Requiem gets a channel, but Lin still just focus firing away. It looks like it will be the Shadow Fiend to drop. Lin still relatively healthy. Nothing left on XLL, but we've got another shackle over onto Kabu. They've only lost 1, and it's going to be another full 5-man wipe. Yeah, and Yang putting that Shadow Blade to work, going to come charging in here on the mid lane. Doesn't have a whole lot of health nearby, but just going to pop BKB, start working away at Melody Lovers, but there's a grip. LPC just around the corner. Yang still tanking through everything here. We do have heroes arriving. James going to try and help out a little bit as Red comes flying in with the hookshot. Yang, can he get out of here? Looks like won't be able to as the Chakram finishes him off. But a Finger of Death is going to at least get the kill.
as you kind of mentioned earlier, pushing high ground with a Timbersaw is always hard to actually hit your spells and do enough damage to...
And Lin comes forcing in, looks for the shackle, doesn't find it, but he might kill U9 anyways, just with the focus fire. U9 turns for one hit, still alive, 300 HP. LPC with the self-nightmare, but a finger of death sliced.
The team in VG potential knocked out, and a loss here means TongFu have no chance whatsoever to advance to the playoffs. It was already the slimmest of chances, but Kabu, one last hurrah. Kabu, good damage coming out. He brings down one in the Bounty Hunter, but that's not going to be enough in its own. The cheese gets chewed up as Lion going to look to back off. Gets out the Hex on U9, but he's still running. Great shackle from the high ground. There's no follow-up damage, but it does deter the chase. Lion, 4-staff, no blink available. He's got 5k gold, and he's out of here. Kabu line.
And no, Yang's not done. Kabu gets used up. The charge not going to land as a result. But they should be able to find your Timbersaw here. Another finger of death coming out. Hexed once more, unable to cast anything thus far, though VG.P might not have the damage. Kabu goes hooking off to the side here as the fight continues. No help arriving. I think the rest of TongFu actually occupied over inside of the base. James almost
suicidal moves from Windranger in the Radiant base.
Oh no.
And they get the grip on Bristleback. VG Gaming, they're throwing away their lead here. It almost feels like both Bristle and Windranger go down. Send the line back to deal with split push, no problem. Use finger, creep wave, and it's gone. 20 seconds, you can do it again.
TongFu waiting on the high ground. James is going to get caught out. How much is that heart going to do for him? Nothing. He's going to get caught out. The focus fire is coming out. Kabu in some trouble getting locked down. Dogfight still inside the cogs, but he's nice and safe there, in fact. U9 does manage to open up with some right clicks as Yang kites a little bit further down. TongFu staying grouped up. U9 starting to lay with the right clicks. The Lin has the wind run. We've got the Requiem of Souls coming out, but Shadow Fiend unable to stand. Another Nightmare and XOL. They keep on kiting. The Shackle Shot land! U9 is going to be brought down. Lin making the plays. Stand strong in the midst of everything. They will have to wait out this blade bell on the clockwork. He's going to try and TP home, but no chance. One last right click from XLL finishes him off. And we're not done just yet either. Make it a full team wipe.
If only. Yang still wants in, BKB's up, and sides against it. Okay. We're not going to talk about that one. Red gets fingered, but he's still alive and healthy. Hookshot defensively from Red just to get back to the high ground. Interesting Dota 2 coming out. Fiend's grip onto the line, gets forced out of the Chakram's forced again to the high ground, but gets chased down by the Chakram and the Timber Chain. Not bad coming out from Timbersaw. They've killed off two VG Game heroes. Lin now on the run, tries to turn and fight, but this is not a fight. It looks like he's going to win as it's a third casualty for VG Gaming.
Probably not, but I mean, they're just trying to force in the back. U9 was clearing creeps mid lane. He's going to get hexed up. He gets stunned as well. Finger of Death comes out. They're focus firing him, and he's going to be brought down. He does have buyback available, but it's going to be forced out. And yeah, Kabu now getting bashed away. I just going to be able to pop the Ghost Scepter, the SF buyback coming in. LPC looking for a good grip. Lucy found the Chakram. Will be able to finish off your Spirit Breaker. Lin focusing on Melody Lovers on the sidelines. But the Ghost Scepter along with the Yules are going to make it difficult for Lin to actually get anything done. Nice 4-staff does dodge out of the way of the hookshot. But Red's still looking for more. Meanwhile, down bottom, Bristleback caught out by 4. He's still pretty tanky, but it looks like his team is not going to come back and save him.
Optimus Shadow Fiend buyback, but this fight will turn out pretty decent for TongFu, but I don't know how much they're going to want to go push now. Without Shadow Fiend buyback, it's for Windranger to poke at buildings. Maybe even consider something like a bit of split push play, but for now, they're into the high ground. They're doing damage to the tier 3 tower. Bristleback on the front lines. Not someone that TongFu want to try and focus down first.
LPC really wants to try and get a good duration off on the Fiend Strip here. The Cogs are going to catch out 2. Focus fire. They land the Shackle again. Lin continues to make these plays. And U9 getting caught out. Tries to get off the record, but Yang bashing away with his Moonshot. Pops the blade, but the Satanic fires back in the opposite direction. And U9 will be able to heal up LPC. The only casualty of war thus far as VG.P alternate between zoning out TongFu and focusing on the barracks here. And some objective-based Dota. XLL trapped inside the Cogs, faces the Laguna Blade, and he will be brought down by some right clicks. Yang still giving Shadow Fiend a very hard time, but Yield Scepter opens up some space. Lin still right-clicking away and does manage to finish off the SF with his immediate buyback. And now the Windranger caught in the middle of everyone. VG.P just trying to finish off this lane of frags as Bristleback rejoins the fight. Windranger will be able to find a gap in the midst of everything and return back to her team here. And Spike catches out 3. Kabu still shackled up, but the charge is on 4. James blinks off to the side, gets the Hex on the Melody Lovers. Kabu Timber Chaining a little bit further away as he does find that kill on the Spirit Breaker with the Chakram. XLL now.
Oh,
it's another 3-hero Spike. James.
He doesn't want to be
Blink
showing
back
up by this win range. He says, I can stun more heroes than you can stun with my spells. And now Red taking heavy damage to the front range. That Blade Mail not going to work against the BKB. The TP's coming back in, and Kabu has his work cut out for him to try and fight his way out of this one. He's trying to go in on Yang. Yang's got the Silver Edge to try and escape, and Lin in the backlines has buyback. He may just look to throw away his life for this one. As SF, if he dies, he has no buyback, and Kabu will lose the battle versus Lin. The Chakra in a mid-power shot states him out. Great play from Lin. As Shadow Fiend has healed himself back up with the Satanic Shackle not going to land for once as Lin gets raised down, and this is it. Do you buy back and go for the GG, or do you just let things settle? And it looks like Lin is not going to overextend. Fiend's Grip comes out. That's the second one of this fight as James brought down on the side. That's 4 dead for VG Gaming Potential. XLL, TP out, barely escapes. Oh boy.
Well, Lin trapped with the Fiend Script. They're getting a good channel off this time around. Hogs bouncing him back a little bit further as well. Muglovich is the first to drop as the Bounty Hunter also takes a spill, buys back immediately. Lin, however, won't be able to get the right clicks off this time around as Red jams the second hook shot and will find himself a double. The fight continues to split up as James dancing around in the back line, still has Earth Spike and X available. Buybacks coming in as XLL will continue this fight. LPC has a nightmare and just going to put himself under to try and survive, but will end up being brought down. XLL trying to kite back towards the Bounty Hunter. Lin's back on the top side. Hook goes back into the base as U9 continues to be charged, and with 3 heroes dead, this might just be it.
This is looking bad. 2 versus 5 now, and everything kind of online for the VG Game Potential team. Yang gonna go in the base, and it's a throne exposed as it looks like this is the end. Game 1 wrapped up. VG Gaming Potential wins some Dota 2.
And with that, that's gonna end TongFu's hopes